if you're a musician that puts music out on Spotify, then this video applies specifically to you. If you haven't heard yet, Spotify has just made an announcement that starting next year, they will be introducing a streams threshold that will be put in place to determine who gets paid royalties and who doesn't. So what does that mean for you? That means if you're a singer, a songwriter, a music producer, an artist, or any type of instrumentalist or musician that uploads music to digital streaming platforms like Spotify, but to Spotify in particularly, that means that for all the streams that you generate, if your streams do not cross a certain number of streams, you will no longer be eligible to receive royalties. So what are royalties? Royalties are what you get paid based off of how your song is used. If we look at Spotify's website, it breaks down royalties in two different ways. There's first recording royalties, the money owed to the rights holders for recordings streamed on Spotify, which is paid to artists through the licensor that delivers the music, typically their record label or distributor. In your case, if you're using something like DistroKid, that will be your distributor. The other type of royalty is your publishing royalty. This is the money owed to the songwriter or owners of the composition. These payments are issued to publishers, collecting societies, and mechanical agencies based on the territory of usage. So what does that mean to you? That means that if you own a part of your song and you're not signed to a record label, you're an independent artist trying to build an indie career for yourself without a label, and you own your music and have it split between you and whoever else collaborated on the song, that means you get a percentage of that royalty based off of how many streams that song generates, and then a percentage based off of how many other people were on that song. Spotify doesn't pay a lot of royalties to begin with. Currently, it'll take about 250 streams for you to make $1 off of Spotify. 250 streams. Now, I know you hear all of these stories about people streaming millions and millions of streams. That's a rare case, and that's usually with somebody with a very big budget behind them, a lot of popularity, and of course, a record label. So for the average up-and-coming musician, generating 1,000 streams is a big accomplishment. Generating 20,000, 50,000 streams is a big accomplishment. Now, we don't know exactly what that threshold will be that you will have to pass for you to start generating royalties, but we do know based off of Spotify's announcement that this is coming because, one, they want to be able to pay out money to the working artists. That means the more popular artists, the artists with a buzz, the artists with record labels behind them. Another reason that they're doing this is because they want to prevent fraud. If you haven't seen it before, there are a lot of bots and even stream farms that exist where people are having a whole bunch of computers or cell phones playing someone's song simultaneously back to back so they can run up the numbers. I'll even show you a video or a picture of one somewhere in here. But at the end of the day, this is a terrible, terrible thing for musicians that are trying to build a name for themselves and they're on the rise, the aspiring musician, because musicians put their heart and soul into their music and with hopes to be able to do music full time, just to be told by gatekeeper after gatekeeper that for them to be successful, they have to make it through what this person or this gatekeeper deems necessary or what it requires for them to make it to the next level. And this is why I always tell artists to stop relying on streams. If you've been following me for long enough, you'll know that one of my biggest messages to musicians that want to make money in the music industry is to stop relying on streams. Streams don't generate enough money for you to make a full-time living off of your music. You have to have a whole different type of strategy in place if you actually want to generate money as a musician fast. And that's exactly why I created my coaching program, The Full-Time Musician. If you haven't heard of it, there's a link for it below and you can check it out. In that program, it's an online training where I'll walk you through step-by-step, beginning to end, everything that you need to do to build a full-on, full-time career as a musician in the music industry, generating income and putting you in place to at some point or another be able to do music full-time without having to work a regular job. So if you're interested in that, the link's down below in the description and go ahead and check that out. But at the end of the day, this is just another example of how crazy the music industry can be, yet there's so many people pursuing careers in music. Currently right now on Spotify alone, there's over 100,000 songs that get uploaded per day. That is 100,000 artists putting up music, hoping to build a fan base, hoping to go viral, hoping to be able to make money or go on tour or whatever it is that their goals are. And that makes it very competitive, and it's actually just overwhelming for Spotify because the amount of royalties that would be owed from this many people uploading music to their platforms is very substantial. So you might be asking, what happens if my songs generate royalties but they don't cross the threshold? What happens to those royalties? Because they're still generating royalties, right? Of course. But that's the downside. If your song doesn't generate whatever that threshold is required for you to actually start getting paid out for royalties, the royalties that are generated from those minimal plays, they're going to be divided up and given out to the artists who have made songs that cross that threshold. So you're going to be paying the popular artists your royalties because you weren't as popular as them. What kind of sense does that make? I know. And while we're talking about making sense, do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel because that makes a lot of sense based off of all this information that I'm giving you right now. It's much appreciated. But yeah, imagine putting money into studio time, money into production, money into equipment, money into shooting a video, money into maybe getting on a playlist or going and buying a wardrobe or hiring a team to help you put the video together or paying for mixing and mastering. The expenses are rather dense. There's a lot that goes into making great quality music. Now, of course, you can minimize some of these costs by doing some of these things yourself, but if you're not a professional and if you don't have time to do this, then you have to outsource all of these things, right? So imagine spending all of that money, spending hours in the studio working on your song, uploading it, telling everybody about it, doing all this promotion, and then you only get 1,000 streams or something like that, and the threshold is, let's say, 5,000 streams. So you just put all of that effort, all of that money, all that time into releasing this song, hoping to get some type of return on what you've invested, just to find out that what you did generate, the money and the royalties that did come from all of that hard work and all that money you spent, is actually gonna get paid to somebody else. Someone that you don't know. Someone that probably wouldn't even want to do a song with you if you reached out to them, because if they're on a certain level of popularity, they usually don't want to do songs with people that aren't on that same level to begin with. So this is just another way of how Spotify and the record labels screw over the smaller artists, and it's always big fish eat little fish. So my goal for you is to become one of the big fish. And that's why I created this channel. So I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop of what's been going on. As this unfolds, I'll definitely make a follow-up to this video once they come out and let people know what that threshold would be. But if you think this is crazy, or if you have any comments about it, do me a favor and leave a comment in the comment section. I'd love to hear more about what you guys think about it as up-and-coming musicians, and also share this with a friend, someone that you know that makes music as well. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, or if you haven't hit the like button, please do so now. I'd really appreciate it. So that's all I have for you right now. Until I make another video, I'll talk to you guys soon.